So I broke these straps so I could fit the water bottle in here. They've got all these crazy straps that they sew down, and I don't know why. For appearance. Either way, it's got some use for the side. They did not put a water bottle holder on this right side. They only put one, which is not enough. So I broke the straps. But the biggest challenge, it'll hold. Okay, it'll fit and it'll hold. But the biggest challenge is the bottom. I'll have to sew something, maybe from one end to the other, just to hold that bottom secure. I'm gonna take off here next to the river. I got some lines above me I gotta watch, so I can't go just straight up. I'm gonna check out the river and just the surrounding next to the stock bridge. Alright, I'm kind of satisfied just with this strap that I sewed up here for this bottle. These were all just kind of a part of the bag, these straps, and now I've sewed a spine, and then the bottom. I actually broke the strap for this just like these, but then I was like, well, maybe it could be the bottom, so I sewed it back on. And I mean, it's another bottle holder, you know. I got this one, but that one isn't enough, especially when it gets over 80 degrees. Having a spare helps. See how it holds up. Pretty simple job, breaking the threads and then sewing each individually, and then the bottom, maybe a half hour, 45-minute project. Alright, I think the heat is too much for me to sleep. I just can't. It's too hot. Alright, well, not far down from the library, there's this land trust, and it's kind of curious. Looks like they've allowed these trees to survive. The Yampa Valley Land Trust. It's hard to say if they're a private business or what. But they got this designation that's curious. I suppose it could be a private business still. Oh, they got all these history, education signs at every bus stop downtown. It's kind of interesting how the nights can get so cold and can jump up to the 80s during the day and then down to the 50s at night. This is in contrast to, I think, from what I remember last year in Montana, I was in a North City in Whitefish, North City in Montana, and the nights were they stayed pretty warm. I know I was suffering trying to sleep. But here, the cold really comes in pretty quickly at night, and wake up to some chilly mornings. I think that's a contrast, maybe for the high Rockies compared to that northern Montana city. What could this big black thing be on the sidewalk? Oh my God, that's a big poop. Look at the size of that poop. Wow. Those bears are eating good. Right on the sidewalk. I wonder if anybody will come up with anything for hand catching. It's a little bit better than using your own hand. Something that can maybe like grip it right away or something. It's so dangerous catching it by hand. Alright, it's very stinky, but it's very real too. The bubbles coming out of that thing are actually natural, I believe. There's at least 10 springs, but not all of them are sulfur. A little bit closer here. The trains come every so often. Oh, you could see bubbling along the train track. They built the train track over the spring, pretty much, and it's kind of spread around it. The spring spread around the train track. Yeah, this is a big sulfur spring. They didn't care for it at all. The stink is pretty bad. But they're like, whatever, it's a stinky sulfur spring. Or it's a stinky spring. Nobody want to drink from this. So we'll build a train track over it. And it does drain into the river. Oh yeah, and then it continues. And it's kind of over here too. See the bubbling. But it's not a really hot temperature. It's in the 70s. I think it freezes in the winter then. All right, I never really walked this before. It's across the street from the library. You only get so far though. They obviously cut into this to make the train tracks. These are all obviously human cuts. So this is a big boulder that extended out towards the river and it was cut into. And I don't know if they revealed more of the spring when they cut into this rock or if it's just leaking from the spring site. I'm not a geologist. It'd be interesting to learn how that works. Yeah, this area has been walked quite a few times, and you can see. Now, did this sulphur spring run through the rock? You can see it rushing through the rock here. There's like a sulphur cave, a tiny sulphur cave. Lots of flies. Look at that. That's pretty neat. All that water rushing through. And it's created, well, a little mini cave right here. That's pretty cool. And it rushes on and makes its path right on through. It's so stinky. I wouldn't dare try to drink this. Maybe it's healthy. I need to learn from the experts. It looks like maybe there's been other evidence of activity. Yeah, a bit of a cave with this rock. Maybe it overflowed on the top too at some point. Got a long history. I'm amazed how flies love it so much. All those black raisins, they just hoard this. Pretty neat. I wonder how deep it is. Maybe I could bring my GoPro and go underwater with it a little bit. What's all this green stuff? Is that a type of algae that likes this? These bubbles are so interesting. That's quite a bubble. Like, is this something that's ready to erupt at any point? Alright, so that pond up there is considered a spring as well, for a sweetwater lake spring. And he got a bunch all around. This one, yeah, I think you need to pay. Rich Weiss Park. This is through a town, and this one you gotta pay. They shaped it into a heart, huh? It used to be a bathhouse for the public, and then various, yeah. There's a lot just around this library. Yeah, you go to the library and you'll see most of them, the majority of them. This is a little bit of a walk to get to. But this spot was a spring, so I'm sure there's old pictures of what they made for it. So I seem to be finding a lot of spare change on the ground, and I question, is it a matter of more people dropping spare change or less people picking it up? They're doing some work at Safeway here, maybe expanding the lot. I'm gonna check out the cost. Oh, there's your prices. Okay. All right.
What?
All right. Yeah, $6. No way. I don't care about the treads of the Pioneer. They can tread elsewhere for all I care. Walking straight up this, I see a little trail. It'll be just like walking on flat ground. No different. So I guess maybe I can't go up this way. I just saw a truck up there a couple days ago. They're telling people to stay off the slope. They're doing work on the slope. I guess I'll have to see what it says on the other side.